hates me. My computer hates me.
There we go.
Is it recording? Oh.
Yeah, we're good.
You guys had to tell me that. Okay, so as I told you, you can add this to the letter, but I know you don't hear this enough, but there's a lot of people that care about you guys in general. I know I messaged these two guys, and they also care about you guys as well. So that's the part that you can say on clickbait. I'll text it to you. I'll DM it to you after we're done. So you made my day when you said yes to be on, as you know. So you may be wondering why we chose you in specific. So it actually turns out the Angry Cheesehead, I did like a Mary podcast with them.
Mm-hmm.
The question was basically, if I had a guest, who would it be on? Or who would it be? And he actually said you. So that's why we basically chose you in the beginning.
I'm absolutely honored. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Hey, Ingrid, you can go.
Yeah. I will definitely say before we start, Tree, I will have to tell you this. Kind of with how I got this handle, I will say it was kind of a blend of you and Tom in a way that kind of inspired me to create this kind of handle. Give it a kind of like a little. I know it sounds a little corny of a name, but I figured it'd be like a kind of like sound like a beer name or something like that, like an Angry Cheesehead or something like that.
Hey, it works. I mean, it's not as corny as this one right here. I mean, that was me being an edgelord on Xbox Live when I was 15. So,
I mean, it's a funny name as someone who really enjoys Schadenfreude. I mean, it fits. So, definitely. Well, let's get started, shall we? So, hello everyone. Welcome. And of course, we're not doing this live. You are watching the Mac and Cheese podcast, which you will hopefully be getting a podcast once a month or multiple episodes a week with one of my friends or celebrities. If you want to be a guest, please email us at macpodcast2023@gmail.com. Once again, that's macpodcast2023@gmail.com. Tonight's guest is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the king of the Yinzers, urinating Tree.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take it away. How you guys doing, by the way?
We're doing good.
Great. Just happy to be here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're happy
another day alive. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I mean, you may not be out by tomorrow, but I just wanted to say, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Hope you have some big plans, family and friends. I'm running a turkey trot tomorrow, and then making a few things for dinner with family. So, just hoping for a nice, relaxing time.
Nice.
And football.
Oh yeah, absolutely football. Absolutely, it has to be football.
Okay, this is my segment. This recently happened, but if you want anything, I don't know, from tumblers of various designs ranging from sports leagues to your own designs, bracelets, rosaries, various eyelashes, chapsticks, crystal head figurines, multicolored pens, one set transparent dice, pendants of all sorts, earrings, facial rollers, pendants, and more. They are all on my friend's website, which can be linked in the About section underneath the bio. You can also get 15% off by using my code, which is Mary, MARY, 15% off to get in the link. To get to the link, it's on the About channel. Do you have any comments, Tree? We're purposely leaving space for you to comment.
Nah, it's all good, man. As I said, is it good jewelry?
I don't know. It's handmade. It's handmade.
You know what? Handmade does make it better. I will say that.
Fine. Justin?
All right. As you all know, Tom Grossi, who has a lot of viewers a lot of followers on YouTube, is the Packers nominee for the NFL's Fan of the Year award.
Yes.
Recently, he did the 30 for 30 and 30 campaign, where he visited 30 NFL cities in 30 days, starting with Green Bay and then ended with Los Angeles. In that process, he made a lot of chaotic good, raising over $500,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And on December 16th, he's going to do another a charity live stream for the Organization for Autism Research on Saturday, December 16th on YouTube at 4 p.m. So, what is simple? Just look at the. Sorry.
It's all right, man. Take your time.
So on Twitter, if you click on Tom Grossi's profile, the pinned tweet will be the Fan of the Year voting award thing. or something along those lines. So just click on that, enter your email address, and vote for Tom Grassi. You can do it as many times as you want. And you can also
He should win. He should win, by the way.
Yes.
We're about to talk about that. Like
Voting is open for another couple months. And that's it.
I keep wondering too, like, I don't know how that guy keeps pumping out as fast as he does. I still think he has a secret lair underneath. And I've been to his house. I did a stream with him in 2021 for Packers Steelers back then. So I saw a good bit of his house. I still think there's a little dungeon where there are a bunch of clone Tom Grassis doing their thing and pumping out content. Because like that dude's a machine. Respect it.
Clones, droids, maybe there are a little bunch of gremlins down there or something. You never know.
Look, gremlins are a little too. He doesn't strike me as a gremlin guy, though. That's the only thing. Like he's, as I said, with the way he is, I don't really see gremlins. Maybe Oompa Loompas.
I don't know.
But I would say clones, more or less. Maybe he's trained his animals to edit. Could be.
Excuse me, wrong.
I mean, he does have the crawl space. He does have the crawl space. Is that where he keeps them?
Maybe
Charles is doing the editing.
Well, that's why he keeps it covered. It used to be an old fireplace back there, right?
Right.
Well, he explains Coach and all the sagas because they're actual clones like Chom.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm curious to know, did you watch any of my episodes? So you knew what you were getting into.
I have not, unfortunately. I was too busy working on sports ball, so I was not able to.
Don't worry about it. Angry, it's your turn.
All right. So obviously you were a big Pittsburgh fan. You love the Pitt Panthers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Penguins, LOL, because I'm a Canes fan, and the Pirates. But how does it feel being a fan of all these teams? And if anything, do you also have a favorite NBA team? And what are your best moments with them?
Ooh. Well, that's actually a bit of a loaded question there. I would say, like, for Pittsburgh, I was born and raised. I grew up about 15 minutes north of the city. Grew up there my whole life, moved around the city and around those parts a couple times. A small town called Avalon, west of the city. For a couple of years, I was in Troy Hill, which is a borough of Pittsburgh, for about 7. Now I'm living by McKeesport right now. I moved to a house about 18 months ago down here. So I've mostly been kind of around the place. The only thing I haven't really hit is maybe Mount Lebo area, but that's kind of a mess. So I don't really want to go back there. But I will say, in terms of a Penguins fan, we've had Stanley Cups since 16, 17. I'll always have those memories there. I mean, for now, it's like you're kind of middle of the road with them and the Steelers. It's been about 15 years since the Steelers have won, which, I mean, I'm counting my blessings because I have seen them win a Super Bowl, especially when I was old enough to remember a Super Bowl. Right. So I will do okay there. You just, you want it to keep happening over and over again. So I understand how sometimes you do get frustrated. Then I do get frustrated. I'm very frustrated, as you can tell. But I mean, for the Pirates, I grew up with them being shit for pretty much my entire life. I was too young to remember them being good in the early 90s. So I remember them being bad for about 20 years, and they weren't good until I was 25. So I was out of college before they were any good. And then they went mediocre. They became bad. Now they're hopefully in the start of a rebuild. So they're the team that I want to see win just because I've never seen it before. My greatest memory of them is a wild card game. Pitt football and basketball, it is the epitome of agony because Pitt basketball was good for a hot minute. They just kept choking, especially in the tourney. They almost made the Final Four once, did not make it though. And then Pitt football is you're stuck in mediocrity. And then this year was just less said about that, the better. But in terms of NBA team, I had a soft spot for the Raptors growing up, oddly. I like their logo. I thought it was, 90s tude. So I kind of grew into them, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Chris Bosh. So a soft spot of me felt good when they finally won the NBA championship in 2019.
Nice. As you see, well, with me, it's a little awkward because I'm more of a dark horse. My family is either Seattle Seahawks or Minnesota Viking fans. So, and with me and other teams like baseball, I'm a Twins fan. Yeah, agony. Canes fan, Bucks fan. College, oh Lord, this year's college game is like watching the Denver Broncos. I'm a UNC Charlotte fan. Our defense is good, but our offense is garbage. So
yeah.
So is your offense run by Matt Canada? I'm just asking.
No. I'm someone who's way worse. Matt Canada would be a little god compared to this.
Yeah. He's a little bit
I mean, he was
aggressive.
spotty in college. He did good with Nathan Peterman, but flopped at NC State and LSU.
Right.
So,
I mean, at least we have Bit Poggy, and he's doing good as a head coach, and our defensive coordinator. Oh my goodness,
Nice.
great. But offensive coordinator needs to get shot out of the cannon.
could be just the players too. You never know.
I mean, the players could be, but we were having trouble trying to find a good quarterback until later into the season. And now,
That's how Pitt was, especially this year. They brought in Caden Slovis last year, didn't work out. They brought in a transfer, Phil Jurkovec, who played for Boston College, and he was bad. He was just a mess by that point. He did not work out. Then they bring in Christian Veilleux. He did okay. Then I think they started Nate Yarnell last week. Mm-hmm. So it's been a big struggle on that end, and you're 3-8. It's been a bad year for Pitt.
Yeah. Speaking of Canes, they're about to start here in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pens and Rangers too. They're starting at 7.
Please beat the Rangers.
Everyone wants to beat the Rangers.
Everybody does. Anyway, Justin's your turn.
Oh, okay. Tree, my question right now is, what is your inspiration for making your YouTube channel?
Ooh, my inspiration for making my YouTube channel, I would say more or less it's just creative release. I would say that was always my thing. You go through rough patches in life. Like before I started the sports stuff, I was going through a couple of jobs where I was just struggling. I mean, there was like, college grad, you're still waiting tables or like bussing at that point. And then you're just sitting there like, okay, you just feel like you're rotting. You just want something to, just get your mind off the shit, maybe something to look forward to instead of just like zoning out and just going through the motions, because like when you do that, there's just nothing to it. So I stumbled into this by accident, and the fact that I've been going on for, I think almost 7 years now, which is crazy to believe. But I had started a little earlier, but it was more just potpourri stuff, random stuff I just flung on a wall just out of college. And then maybe some stuff earlier, but that was more just, stuff I flung on the wall. But I mean, it's sobering to think that this has lasted that long. And I mean, it could end tomorrow. I get that, just the way the internet is. But I mean, the only thing I regret is not making more content. That's the only thing I really is. So you have to cherish it each day you can. And honestly, like in terms of just being inspired to just, create the best content you can do, or the best videos you can do. I mean, content's a little, I'm not crazy about the term, but like in terms of like videos in general, like, is it going to be entertaining to me or anyone else? That's the real question I ask myself, at least with any upload I do. So it's the only way you can go about things, I think.
I will definitely say with the whole you not having to upload a whole lot of videos, I mean, it's kind of a good thing that you do, because I'd much rather have quality over quantity. And every video you do churn out, usually it does really, really well. And with your backstory, it kind of correlates with mine, because really I've been out of high school, been stuck in the restaurant industry for about 6 years and ongoing, and trying to find my footing, and tried finding careers, but they said no, fuck off. Now I'm trying with a new career, but hopefully something will come up.
Just curious, what are you, front of house or back of house in restaurant?
Mostly back, but I've been around front of the house too.
Yeah. As I said, it's a tough industry. I do not envy one that has to go into it, because it felt weird to be out of the industry for the first time I did it. And it just, I mean, as I said, like if I weren't doing this, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I probably would have left the industry after COVID in 2020. So I couldn't tell you. So honestly, man, all you can do is just keep grinding, and sometimes the spark just strikes at the most random time. Right. So I know exactly how you feel, man.
Yeah. Justin, I saw you.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. I did work in front of house in a sports bar during 2019, and then I was a busser, and the whole sanitizing thing during the pandemic and everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that's probably painful back then.
But because not many people were going through the doors, one of the managers called me up and say, "Hey, we're eliminating your job position." And then
Yep.
I went to a different job. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss being in the restaurant industry. I just miss the people that I worked with.
Yeah, that's usually the thing. They're like your brothers in arms in battle, especially like going day to day. You have a lot of tension sometimes. There are your bad eggs, especially in that industry. But 2020 was just a time. I know in Pittsburgh they shut the restaurants down, front of house service 3 times. So I know, like, April through June, and then a couple weeks in July, and then a couple weeks in December. So. Plus, as you said, not many people were coming through the door. They were all ordering online, or they were just doing elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Doing grocery shopping, eating at home.
Mm-hmm.
We're just calling in, picking up like they did over here in Charlotte.
Yep.
And one more thing. Obviously, thank you for making the content. The videos that you do are great. The sports ball videos, the deep dive videos, and just funny stuff in general. I've been watching you for about 6 years now, so thank you.
Honestly, guys, thank you guys for watching. Because, like, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. So, honestly, the thanks is to you.
If it weren't for you, you wouldn't be an inspiration to me alongside Tom.
Right.
You're welcome.
Right. And I actually found you through ClickBait. So we're about to get through ClickBait questions, actually. So what was the inspiration behind ClickBait Sports? I know you guys kind of already talked about it, like on the first episode, but what was the true inspiration?
The true inspiration was, I know we wanted to combine forces. I think it was between Five and Brandon that wanted that idea. So originally it was going to be like a super stream crossing GPS and dumpster fire. Me, Five, Tom, and Brandon. And then Scooter sees it, he wants in, so we bring in the 5th. And that's how we got to it. I know, like it was more of a super stream, and we just fight with each other all the time about it. But and then we all just sit there about Scooter's like, yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, Cowboys are definitely going to the Super Bowl. And then every January we celebrate their elimination.
Cowboys being way too delusional. It's like the Bears.
I mean, here's the thing about Scooter, though. He believes every word that comes out. That is not a shtick. Like, I respect him for that blind homerism. I wish I could be the same way.
Right.
Yeah, same here with the Packers, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you won last week. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we got lucky though. We got lucky. That's
they were. To be fair, yes, you did, but I mean,
the son was our defensive MVP. Joe Barry ain't worth a shit.
Yeah.
Plus drop.
Well, actually, the wide receivers were your defensive MVP because they kept dropping everything.
Yeah, I think also the son too. They play a part together. It's all joint,
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, speaking of clickbait, even though it's not a clickbait question,
I think they're all
actually kind of is. Actually, it also goes with your dumpster fire. Of course, I'm a fan of dumpster fire. One of my dreams is obviously getting a chance to be on the dumpster fire, being here and enjoy the total Schadenfreude. From either or clickbait or dumpster fire, do you have like a favorite moment? Like, let's say when Five had to hear the news about Danny Dirks being drafted, or Lil Mats, or
dude, with dumpster fire, it's classic. Just making fun of Five the whole time. The Nationals collapse against the Mets back in 2019. That was a big one. I remember laughing hysterically. Daniel Jones in the 2019 draft. Him flipping out about Andrew Thomas because he didn't know what he was. And then the big one has to be them drafting Kadarius Toney after he says, if they draft Kadarius Toney, I'm going to freaking lose my shit. And then they say, draft Kadarius Toney. And he just starts punching his chair and
through his chair. You were lying on that couch.
It was just sheer. It was perfection. That's why I was laughing hysterically, because I remember I was just like dying on the couch the whole time. I didn't even know, because it was just the cheer, just the perfection of what we just saw.
Just Schadenfreude at its best, man.
Which is why I'm sad that Dave Gettleman's not there, because we can't see that anymore. Although, to be fair, the Giants are pretty bad this year. Now he's just forlorn. He's not angry, which is sad.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. But, oh, man, every time it's always good to see you on a Tuesday with Five and just seeing how bad are you going to shatter Five's ego right there.
Well, it's not just that. It's also how do we get demonetized within the first 15 minutes.
That too.
Yeah.
Because we find easy ways to do it.
Yeah, part of the reason why I want to be on the show if I ever get the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Justin?
the Kazarius Tony one was as always hilarious.
I was
It's
literally
classic.
just watching that clip yesterday.
I mean, I watch it sometimes, and I'm still like, "Oh my god, I lost it." Still, it's classic.
And then you flipping out later about Najee Harris.
Yeah, which unfortunately, I mean, I was kind of expecting. It was said my biggest complaint is who's blocking for him, and
Right.
the issue is nobody's really blocking for him.
Mhm.
Although we'll ask, which is worse, watching that wild card game in 2020 against the Browns, or just flipping out about anything?
2020. It was 2020. That game
2020.
legit broke me. It broke me. So, as I said, like I didn't expect. I just did a stream for shits and giggles that day. I didn't expect go crazy, but just like 28-0 after starting 11-0, you collapse like that, and it's like it just broke me. And I will say this, and I'll swear on the Holy Bible, I did not have a drop to drink before that point. So that was just
Wow.
purely sober.
Yeah, pretty
Wow.
much. It's like this, or just having to deal with days of our Steelers. Or, excuse me,
Look, days of our
Days
Steelers.
or Steelers.
That was just that year would just not stop.
I
I
always
was just
go
like,
back and rewatch that show, the full series. It's just
I hated that. I hated every second of that because I'm like, oh god, it's only one episode. I won't have to do it anymore. And that's like, it keeps going,
Son of a gun.
going, and then the
Hey.
team collapsed, and then AB just fell apart, and it's like,
Right.
oh god.
Yeah, if the Packers ever come with it, I come up with a perfect name for the show. It'll be called "It's Always Moldy in Green Bay."
Not bad.
Okay, fine. We can always change it. Justin, your turn.
Going back to clickbait. I know it's been a couple years since you've been doing that show, but do you have any specific favorite punishments for each of the members?
Ooh, my favorite punishment for Tom has to be where he had to wear like a shampoo bottle.
Yep.
It's beautiful, and it ripped on him, but still, it's because they have the opportunity to do something truly hilarious since he's going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
They could just introduce like an entire sample pack of Head and Shoulders in that hotel room, and it will be the greatest thing we have ever seen. I want that to happen so badly.
Right.
I would love it.
We'll be watching it, even though the Packers might not be there.
I would say my favorite Brandon punishment. I mean, there's some interesting ones. The Pokemon rap was pretty good. Shailene about Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
Right.
I'd say that's it was so bad it's good. 5 would be the one where he's painting Bigfoot, and that's to do Bigfoot fan fiction.
Okay.
And then Scooter's punishment, just like ones where we just dump on the Cowboys the whole time.
I like the rant one. The rant one was my favorite out of all of them.
This is gonna be more recent. I kind of like when 5 had to dress as a member of the Blue Man Crew. Just that was just entertaining.
yeah, and then it's just back. It's just barren, and it's just
I'm trying to remember. Were you the one that dressed up as Oppenheimer that one time?
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Dressed up
it-
as Oppenheimer, tree suit for Pseudo Wudo, which is still back here, ironically. And I would say, I'm trying to think like worst punishment I did had to be the Burger King one because, as I said, if I had to suffer, you did too.
Right.
You know exactly why. I hadn't had Burger King in 15 years to that point, and it's just
Oh
like,
wow.
and like the burgers were okay, the fries were the Impossible Burger did not taste good.
Wait, is it my question? Yeah, it is. Dang it. What are 3 specific things your Steelers do to achieve victory against the Bengals this Sunday?
Oh, that's easy. Have an offense. Kenny Pickett needs to have a consistent game, and you need to neutralize Jake Browning. Simply put, I mean, Jake Browning is a wild card right now. You're not facing Joe Burrow, which is a huge benefit, but their defense is still strong. They might be without Cam Taylor-Britt, which is one of their best cornerbacks, so you might have to expose that. Hopefully, the offensive jolt of not having Matt Canada there will generate some results because this is pretty much put up or shut up time for Kenny Pickett.
Mhm.
I mean, he's regressed big time, especially this year, minus fourth quarters. So I don't know which Kenny Pickett are we going to see. Is this Matt
Right.
Canada's fault? Is it Pickett's fault? Or is it both? So you need to generate offense and you need to be able to neutralize Jake Browning. Those are the ways you do it.
Mhm.
All right. So with depending on how the Steelers go either way, of course, you got the draft coming up next year.
Mhm.
So what do you personally think would be in positions the best places to target for the Steelers in the draft of 2024?
I would say it depends on what happens from here on out. I would say if Kenny Pickett doesn't work out, your top priority would be a quarterback. I mean, it may be free agency. You might go after Kirk Cousins. You may have to go after somebody else. So it mostly depends on what happens there. Maybe a guy like Justin Fields is available. You trade for him
Right.
and see how he does. I would say, I'm trying to think where else would be an ideal target. Inside linebacker is probably your main priority because you mostly had to fill with free agents. Devin Bush did not work out. So you're probably looking there if it is a deep class. I would say, trying to think where else. Corner maybe? But you do have Joey Porter Jr., just need a number 2 around him. You do have Minka. Safety would probably be maybe day 2 because KZ and Keanu Neal's good. He just can't stay healthy. That's the major problem we've always had with him. I would say probably outside linebacker, you're good. Defensive tackle, you have Keanu Benton, you're good there. Maybe like a pure end to replace Cam Hayward. That's the only thing I can think of. And then offensive line help. I would say center is a huge priority, so that'd probably be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. A tackle again, because Broderick Jones is really good, but I mean, guard could be another with Seumalo and James Daniels. So you could have something there. Wide receiver maybe because Deontay Johnson, like he's still okay, but you have huge questions about George Pickens. Like there are questions about his work ethic. Like he's had some times where he's kind of imploded, especially with some stuff that's happened this past week or so. So that mostly depends there. So those would be the positions I target, but that will vary also depending on how this season goes.
Yeah, with the Packers, I definitely do feel like we still need to get a safety because why we didn't get Brian Branch is pretty ridiculous to me.
You did get Jaden Reed out of it. So.
Jaden Reed, yeah, it was good, but I mean, we still could have. The main focus was not wide receiver; it was safety. We really needed a safety at the time. We got a tight end, which was good. We definitely need someone to be on tackle, whether it's left or right. Especially with Bakhtiari, with how bad he's getting injured himself.
Yeah, I think he's done. He's the modern Tony Baselli. He's just
done.
Great tackle, just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, we need him. We need O-line help. We might need some help on defense, like maybe outside. Something that can help us stop the run a bit more. Like Quay Walker's good as long as he does. He's doing a good job trying to keep his temper low. But it's just a matter of getting some help on the ground too.
2020 changed everything. The New Year's Eve injury and Sherman would have been Super Bowl champions had not been for that.
Yeah.
In 2020.
I do feel bad for him, but if he retires, he does have a wife and kid.
Right.
Well, he's gotten paid. He's going to be in the Packers Ring of Honor. He might be a Hall of Famer.
Pretty
It
much,
sucks,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think he'd take anything back except maybe wanting a ring.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what you would want.
I was going to ask you, what do you think happens to David Bakhtiari? Like you said, NFL Packers Hall of Fame ready.
Packers Ring of Honor easily. I know, like he's suffering the same injury over and over again. He hasn't been able to recover. It's the Tony Baselli issue, where he was a great tackle and he just has one major injury that he just can't recover from. For example, Shaq Leonard. He just got away from Indianapolis, and everyone's saying, like, "Wait, why did he get caught? He was a 3-time All-Pro." He had a major injury, a back injury, and he just hasn't been the same since. Like he had a major injury in 2022. He's been a healthy scratch on several occasions. He's lost several steps and his speed and agility, and that's why, unfortunately, it's the consequence of being a contact sport. Right. And there's just nothing you can do about it.
Definitely. Like I had to ask a Colts fan on Twitter that follows me, and I follow him, and ask him, why did you guys get rid of Shaq Leonard? He literally gave me that exact point. And it's just, oh man, it just hurts to see. But hopefully he'll either get some rest, get healed up, or find a better team that can help take care of him, because it don't matter. Irsay is killing the team. That's indirectly or indirectly, he's killing the team.
I know, but that was not the Colts organization's fault with Shaq Leonard. That just happened.
No, there was
I think Leonard will probably get a spot somewhere. I mean, the Steelers just brought up Blake Martinez. They signed him from the Packers or the Panthers practice squad, and he's been out of retirement. Like inside linebacker is a desperate need. He'll find a place, maybe his depth somewhere. So he's not going to be what he was, but maybe he could be something decent in a pinch.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Justin.
Yeah.
This is a fun question. I would be let's say you had a time machine, a time traveling DeLorean, and you would go to you see any Steelers win in person. What would it be? Now the exceptions are the Immaculate Reception and the Super Bowl victories, and
I
you
was
have
gonna-
absolutely three.
I would say I was going to say the Immaculate Reception, but I would probably say ones I've seen in person. I would probably have to say the Colts Steelers divisional game in 2006. I would say that one.
Oh, the shoestring tackle.
Yes, shoestring tackle. Because you said no Super Bowl wins. I was at the AFC Championship game against Baltimore, so don't need
Nice.
a DeLorean for that. Although I would love to replay that game just for the explosion that happened after Polamalu got the pick six. I would probably say maybe the Bengals Steelers game in 16. Just because of how like they self-destructed, I just want to see the crowd's reaction to it. And then I would say, what would be the other one? Probably Cowboys Steelers Super Bowl 30 to warn them about Neil O'Donnell. Sorry, I was just 7 when it happened. It still triggers me. I'm sorry.
Right.
You're good, man. You're good.
Would be an option. Would be an option if I would do a DeLorean myself and travel to any Packers victory in history, but besides Super Bowl victories, I would do the Ice Bowl in '67.
Oh, good pick.
I would in an away game. I would definitely do the Rodgers to Jared Cook game, and
That was a
then
good one.
Maybe going back in time because I was at the Packers Cowboys game last season in November, and that was a thrilling victory. Rudy Ford had 2 interceptions and
Yeah.
came back from 14 down, and that's the first time at Lambeau. I'll never forget it. I'm sure your first time at Heinz Field you'll never forget that.
Mhm.
I still call it Heinz Field.
Yeah, I still call it too. Like nobody calls it Akron, sure.
Nobody.
I remember being at the old Three Rivers Stadium a couple times, like I think twice for baseball and once for football. Football was a little different, because it's a rowdy atmosphere. You can't really bring a kid to a football game because it just smells of stale beer, piss, and just crowds and bodies. Like everyone's already drunk by that point, so that's why it's like you don't really bring kids to that. You bring them to like a Pirates or a Penguins game, but not a Steelers game.
No.
Well, thanks for knocking out that question.
Angry, do you have any ideas?
For
Justin's
3
question.
places.
Yeah.
Definitely would love to go back and go to the only game I've been to, the last year's Tampa Bay at Green Bay Packers game, where Devondre Campbell was able to block off that failed 2-point conversion, beat Tom Brady.
Yep.
That was frustrating.
Definitely would love to go and be there for, of course, the Hail Mary against Detroit that Aaron Rodgers was able to do that. And let's see, this is a good one.
I know.
I would have to go with probably 2020 NFC Championship game to warn them about Scotty Miller and the bad defense, because if we would have just picked up, if defense would have picked up the pace, we would have gotten the chance to go to the Super Bowl and take on Kansas City, no problem. But
Right.
it is what it is.
Ooh, for me, I would say the Richard Rodgers one for sure against the Lions, like you said, the Ice Bowl, like to go back in history. I'm gonna take this back to an episode. Probably the NFC Championship against the Bears, the one before the Super Bowl.
Yep, with the Steelers.
BJ Raji
Yes.
picked 6.
Oh yeah, BJ Raji
That one,
definitely
I would-
would love to see that again. That's
I
what
was-
mentioned.
I was actually at the Jets Steelers championship game that year. I remember being frustrated because they gave up a safety to go down by I think 2 or 3 points, and we were just all pissed about it because we thought we were going to lose, but somehow we didn't, and we made the Super Bowl to lose to you guys.
Right.
Thank you, Rashard Mendenhall, for not having hands.
Bill a ticket.
I mean, it was a 21-3 deficit to begin with, so
Right.
nah. I forgot about that until my brother had mentioned it.
Nice.
So this is not one of the questions. I'm going to go schedule a little bit. What do you think about Brandon Perna's curse wheel?
Ooh, everyone loves a good jinx, and trust me, I'm very aware of my jinx. Pecorine is too good right now. Was with the first one, and then what happened for me? I had picked like the World Series winners this past like fall, Milwaukee and Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah.
Not only do they not win a single game, not only do they lose in humiliating fashion, the opponents they played made the World Series. So it was the ultimate jinx. I'm sitting there like, are you shitting me? And like, I'm not even angry. I'm like, I'm amazed by it.
Jeez.
Okay, I'll get it back on.
Successful your jinx are. I mean, how many jinx that you put on teams that didn't end up successful, like, you know, what regards to the World Series or the Super Bowl or whatever?
I've made a couple. Vegas in 6, or Vegas in 5 last year. Nationals in 7 for the World Series in 19. I just did it as like, screw it. The whole year's been crazy. Nationals are going to win. The Nationals win in 7. So I say those are the 2. There's always like a random, like for playoff predictions, I sometimes get like 1 right and then like the other doesn't. I've never actually gotten both right.
Wow, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go from here? This is from a Browns fan, so I think they mean, how do you see your Steelers win from that loss against the Browns?
As I said, it mostly depends on how the offense is. They're hitting a really soft part of their schedule. Bengals without Joe Burrow. You have the Cardinals and the Patriots. So if you can take out any of those opponents, you might be okay. But if you lose like, 2 of 3, all 3 of those, you're in deep trouble. It mostly depends on how you do it, because Baltimore's never going to play easy. You have finished your Cleveland games, so you're okay there. But, I mean, the question is, can you sneak into the playoffs and hope bullshit reigns supreme? That's the real question you have. It mostly, as I said, it mostly depends on how the offense responds to getting rid of the dead weight of Matt Canada.
Right.
Yeah, especially with Buffalo coming near behind, trying to sneak.
Well, not just Buffalo. I mean, Houston sneaking behind too. They have a lead spot. Raiders are still there. The Broncos, I don't think they make it, but they're still sneaking up. You still have the Chargers at 4 and 6. The Bengals are still out there. So plenty of. Well, I wouldn't, but they're still, they're 4 and 6. So
right. I would definitely see Houston make it in. I think you guys could squeak a way in, find a way to get through the bullshit.
Yeah, if they're a 6 or 7 seed and then probably lose by 30 in the wild card round, I get it.
Probably.
And then I'll just be here just sitting like, are we going to change anything? Like, is that's what I think. It's like, what are we gaining from this?
Yeah, with us, of course, it's still a rebuild year. We got new guys. We're currently at the 8th seed right now. There's a possible chance, but with the fact that a third of our roster is already injured for tomorrow's game against the Lions,
and you have you're 2 games back. So
yeah, we just got to win out. I mean, yeah, it looks easy, but I said the same thing when we had the games against Denver and Vegas that we lost to. It's just, it might be a chance, but we'll just see how it goes.
It's a long shot. I mean, you got the Chiefs after that, so
we do.
It's kind of a soft schedule. I mean, you do have the Giants. Yep, the Bucks are going to be, they'll play tough. Then the Panthers and the Bears. So I could see maybe 7 or 8 wins, but I just don't see playoffs.
I mean, maybe we can squeak one against the Vikings because we
also have the Vikings.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vikings do get bailed out a lot, but that's just me.
Good news is they don't have Kirk.
And we tend to split
Even
against the
then,
Vikings.
Josh Dobbs is still doing really good there anyway.
We also tend to split against the Vikings. You guys have to remember that, too.
Yeah, that's why I just
said. Vikings always play weird. That's the only thing.
Yeah, they play like they're the redheaded stepchild. You just never get them. Like, they're just screeching along, like when you're dragging them from the head. Just. But that's. Last year, I definitely felt that they were getting bailed out. But they didn't deserve to get in the playoffs.
They reeked of fraudulence and they got exposed in the first round. And it also helped to give Daniel Jones $40 million a year. So I hope Ed Donatel is getting some royalties from that.
Definitely. But speaking of teams, that really shouldn't make it through, team owners. I want to see your Mount Rushmore of current team owners that are crappy, like Irsay, Kroenke, Spanos, of course, Tepper, even Art Rooney if you put him in there. Or
I would not put Art Rooney up there just yet. Like, I don't think he's anywhere near the bottom, like the dead bottom of the list. Nowhere close. Even though he is actually really cheap in a lot of regards. Like, I don't think he's there. In terms of like, are we talking like all sports, or are we just talking the NFL for now?
Talking NFL, current owners in the
Okay.
NFL. I mean, if
So
you want
the
to talk
NFL
about sports, because there are some owners like Kroenke and Haslam that have other teams outside of the NFL, you can bring them in, but
Alright.
definitely mainly is the NFL.
Ooh, well, I know for the first part, I will add Jimmy Haslam because I just like he's had a lot of issues. He's held back the team in a lot of regards, very meddlesome. His Browns are good, but I think that's more in spite of what he's done because they threw all that money at Deshaun Watson on Jimmy's behest. And I think the defense is playing lights out. And I hope that lasts for him, but will it? That's the question. I would say David Tepper's up there. He has proven to be very meddlesome, especially over these past few years. Rock Hill, South Carolina was a big thing, but especially over this past year with some of the moves he's made, like apparently demanding they draft Bryce Young, which hiring Frank Reich, also bringing in having different schematics and skills and Pro Bowl like coaching staff. And it's just been a complete disaster. Not to mention Fitterer's still around and he's running the team into the ground. You make this big trade for a quarterback. You don't trade 2 firsts, trade Brian Burns for 2 firsts. He's probably going to walk this offseason. That is a disaster waiting to happen. I would say the McCaskies would absolutely be up there because they are the gold standard of incompetence. I mean, that's just the way they are. And everything they touch is destroyed. And I would say I would add Michael Bidwell to that list as well, because the Arizona Cardinals are the epitome of an irrelevant organization. Bidwell is going through some allegations. He makes the players pay for food at a cafeteria.
Oops.
And he also he's the fail son of a fail son. So I have no real respect for the Bidwells. I think they run a very poor ship. Everyone and their mother knew that Cliff Kingsbury was a terrible hire, yet they hired him anyway. So those would be my 4. I'm probably missing someone big, but I mean, would be like the bottom 4.
Spanos.
And it's hard because Spanos would be there, but as I said, it's more because he moved the team and he just burned all his goodwill in San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And being a local from nearby the stadium, the Panther Stadium, I hear a lot of the news about the whole Rock Hill situation, the whole Bryce Young, and all that. And it's a shame because Charlotte has really gotten downhill. They haven't been that good. Their basketball team hasn't been that good. Their football team hasn't been that good. You got nothing. I mean, the only good thing that come out of Carolina, other than college, is, of course, the team in Raleigh. That's it.
Yep. And not just that, Charlotte's full of transplants, so that stadium's filled with opposing fans. I know people on 2 hands that have moved to either Charlotte, Raleigh, or those whereabouts over the past 10 years.
Well, I was one of them that used to live in Charlotte, but not for the teams, but
Right.
definitely not worth it.
Justin?
So my next question is, okay. So a couple years ago, you did a deep dive, oil crisis, going into the details of a 1993 Houston Oilers team and how chaotic that season was on the field and off the field. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Would you consider doing other deep dives for an NFL season with a certain team? For example, the Big Green Bills, or say going back to five years later, looking back at the 2018 Steelers 5 years later. Or something like
Maybe. I know I definitely want to do stuff for other sports as well. Bickering of the Bills would be one I want to do, but it'd probably be briefer because of there wasn't that much drama that happened. I don't know if there's a lot of video of what happened there.
Okay.
But in terms of other sports, I absolutely want to get through other stuff. One I want to do is the 03-04 Penguins, about how bad they were nearly moving from the team. The Pittsburgh Penguins' incredible legacy of bullshit would be one I want to get to, because there have been a bunch of times where they have been on the brink of moving by the span of about potentially days, and they would just come up at the last moment and just come up with something to save the team. That would be one I would love to do in the future. Another one I will have to do, and this is one of my bucket list videos, is a history of the Pittsburgh Pirates and their 20 years of losing from 93 to 2012. And I just want to go over every year how bad things were, the Bonifay and Littlefield eras blowing up, Operation Shutdown, every flopped pick, some of the bad decisions they made as well. That would be one I want to get to in a multi-part series. So, as I said, it's just finding the time to do it all, and I'd love to do it. It's just once again, those are more off-season projects, I would say.
Right. So I asked AI to ask this question for you, actually. They said, how do you manage to balance your humor with insightful commentary?
I mean, I just write for me. That's the way I've always seen it. Like, I mean,
Right.
the weird thing is I don't really try to be funny. I think the more you try to force humor, I feel like it gets forced. It doesn't work. So as long as you try to maintain that, be natural, I feel like it turns out like it could be funny. That's the thing. Like, humor's subjective. There are a lot of people that think I'm unfunny as hell, and I get that. It's just the way life is. You throw yourself out there, you're going to get shit. Especially with me, I throw hate out there nonstop. I should expect it back. But at the same time, it more or less just, I feel like some of the commentary also kind of acts as sort of like a backup in case like I feel like I don't have anything on the humor front. So that's where I feel like the balance comes from.
Makes sense. So, you don't have to answer this question. This is more of a kind of an emotional question.
Right.
Totally understandable, but it's another dumpster fire question. But I want to ask about, you did lose Uche long ago, and it really was a pain. Rest in peace, Uche. We love you, man. What was it like working alongside Uche with Five and on the dumpster fire? How was the dynamic? How like on and off the show?
He was a special cat, man. I know, like, he just loved to talk. He loved mentioning football. He brought an insight that we didn't have as like a former professional athlete. We actually went to go on his show as well. Like, he had Lyman Life every Wednesday, so like we kind of cross streams with each other. We also met Justin Blaylock, that he was like a former offensive lineman for the Atlanta Falcons for about 7 years. So really solid guy on his own. But I mean, losing Uche, like, it just came out of left field. I think that's what really like drove it there. I think like most of that time, it just like it took a bit to finally process the fact that he was gone. But he was the kind of dude that he was a light of life. He always loved to bring you into his world. Like, he didn't matter where you were. He saw us as equals. He never saw him as above us, even though we're just random schmucks on the internet. And considering that he took a chance on some, random like dude who doesn't have an athletic bone in his body, I mean, I'll always respect that. And I wish I could have met the guy. I was never able to, but like, as I said, just like a lot of stuff happened. Like, at the time I was able to meet him, it was the day of my sister's wedding. So if you're up there, brother, I miss you. Can't believe it's almost been a year since you gone, man.
We love you, Jay. We love you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Because you can tell from seeing your reaction on Twitter really kind of hit.
It came out of nowhere. I was just speechless. As I said, like, I actually found out about it from a Jaguar Gator 9 tweet. Like, as I was looking up stuff for sports ball, and it just popped on my stream. I'm like, wait, what? And I just like it was hard to process because he was up in Indiana just visiting his kids. He was up there for the holidays. And it's just like we were gonna reconvene on Wednesday. We had taken the Wednesday off before for Lyman Life, and we were gonna come back and just shoot the shit about football again. And when it really hit me was not that Tuesday, not just for the funeral, like the memorial. It was Wednesday, because sometimes he would send DMs for StreamYard, like when we were about to like go live for Lyman Life. So I was expecting around 8:00, and I was just like rechecking it every like now and again, and just like seeing that like, oh God, okay, maybe he's late, and then I'm like, oh, that's when it hit. Oh man. And it took a bit to finally accept, but I mean, as I said, I just I'll talk up to him sometimes. I'll say like, hey man, I miss you. I hope you're doing well up there. That's all you can do.
He's probably up there happy, dance, celebrating with the Jeebus.
Maybe. I mean, as I said, he probably really loved the Jacksonville wins going back into the playoffs because he loved. He talked about the Jacks making the division that year. Remember that? And then they came back. Oh, dude, he would have been going crazy, and then he would have been pissed about Purdue men's basketball. So it would have bounced back.
Yeah, I mean,
that rant would have been legendary.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Justin.
Trying to cheer ourselves back up a bit. I'm sure you've done a lot of hilarious stuff in your channel, like laughing reactions to highlights from your sports ball or stuff like that. 5 laughing moments. Doesn't matter which sport. It's just like you can just pick random.
Oh, most hilarious moments?
when
Miracle. Miami Miracle was hilarious. I would say, like the last year's pick 6 to Chandler Jones on throwback by Jacoby Myers. I was more just sitting there like, what? I had a hard time believing that was real, more or less. I would say, what else would be hilarious though? I'm trying to think because there are a bunch of ones like Tampa Bay Cleveland a few years ago, like 5 years ago, where like they just kept blowing leads and bringing it back. That's like, I would say that was hilarious. I would say, I'm trying to think what else would be like hilarious. Tampa Bay, like full lightning in 2019. That was just like, how the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my
Not
god.
even a single game. Yeah.
Yep. Like more or less, I'm not really laughing at stuff. Not just that. Losing to Jeff Saturday. Raiders losing to Jeff Saturday in his first game. That was hilarious.
I remember watching the highlights of the whole Jacoby Myers throwing backwards on Sunday Night Football pregame. And it was like I was laughing my ass off. It was like, what the heck?
I saw it on Red Zone. I'm just like, what? I thought I was drunk when I saw that because it was tied, and I don't know.
I'm sure Belichick
and you couldn't even throw it back to Mac Jones because it was past the line of scrimmage. It would have been an illegal throw.
Right.
Yeah, it's just funny moments like
Yep.
Miami Miracle, the Browns Bucks game, them a lightning, and just like it's just good to laugh.
You have to laugh. If you don't laugh, you're going to lose your mind.
Right.
It's the only way you can.
Unlike Roger Barrow, where if you laugh too much, you die.
Yeah, very true.
The Weasels.
The best one out of them all from one of your laughs is definitely got to be the Tampa Bay Cleveland one, especially when you cut to Baker's face, just going, "What the?"
Yeah.
fuck?
Oh yeah. That whole game was a what the fuck. I was laughing at it live when it happened, and I'm like, oh god.
Laughing at the short missed field goal, but then laughing harder at the Newey 60-yarder, which was good.
Yeah, just perfect.
I think my funniest moment of you is when you laughed when the Giants picked in
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
I mean,
my favorite moment.
dude, that was a glorious moment, man. I didn't mention that because I had already mentioned that with the dumpster fire. But that was fantastic. Like if I ever do a montage, like of like my quote unquote highlights, it's just gonna be me laughing nonstop at that pick. Like that's all I'm gonna do.
No, it should be just you laughing, you getting pissed off, and you going Yinzer mode. Just
Not just that, and then like the me doing that random weak hit in North Carolina.
Yeah,
the greatest walk-off 11-run single the world has ever seen. And there's like a whole picture of me of us just celebrating, and then the scoreboard says 13-3. We lost by 10. It's art.
Just yeah. Oh man. All right.
Okay, fine. I know. I have it right in front of me. Don't rush me.
No, you're good.
What would you like to see out of Pickett to consider their future?
Well, combination winning games, driving offense, hitting with accuracy, not even long range game, but at least just showing some sort of ability to move the offense. If you can do that, I feel like he will be a part of the future, especially on fourth quarter drives. I feel like he does have that ability. It's a question of maintaining consistency in that regard. And I mean, that's why part of me thinks that Matt Canada was the one holding him back, but time will tell there.
All right.
Definitely. So this one's going to be more of a baseball question in terms of MLB. So really it's just more of about two teams. So we got the I want to know how do you think Lowell Mets is going to mutate this coming year in the new season? Of course, we all celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day and all that. And of course, we had the Las Vegas A's, getting with a deal, moving to Las Vegas, following the footsteps of the Raiders. How do you think that's going to play out?
I know for Lowell Mets, they're looking to compete for 2025, so I'm guessing they're counting this as a punt year per se. I know they traded off a lot of their pieces. They might trade Peter Alonso, so that might be a transition year for them. But you never know with the Nets. They could just sign Yoshinobu Yamamoto and just go at it again. You never know with Daddy Steve. But the Las Vegas A's, it's going to be a mess. You already have your because you've already pissed off the Oakland faithful, and Las Vegas feels really lukewarm towards them. I feel like they want an expansion team. Like, I know they get the public funding. They're going to build a stadium. But at the same time, I mean, what are you going to do until 2027? So you have 2 years to figure out where you're going to play because the Oko lease expires next year, which they'll probably want to get out of. Like, do you go to Las Vegas's AAA stadium, or do you go to San Francisco and play at their field, or do you play at Candlestick, or you got to figure out. So it's just going to be a logistical mess, and I am not looking forward to it.
Definitely. I know we're obviously all looking forward to Bobby Bonilla Day again.
We all are. Oh, dude, Bobby Bonilla Day is the best day. And not just that for NHL free agency.
Definitely.
Love July 1st.
When we beat the Maple Leafs with their own Zamboni driver. I always look forward to that day too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that's a gorgeous day.
Perfect day.
Justin?
Ask me. I'm sure you've been to a couple. You've at least Sorry, I started too much. What would you consider a bucket list NFL stadium to visit in the future? Like, say, Lambeau Field or Arrowhead or heck, even.
I would say all of them. I've never really been to an opposing stadium before for the NFL, so I'd probably say any of them. I've been to opposing baseball stadiums, hockey stadiums, but never a football stadium. Well, actually, I've been to a couple football stadiums. I lied, but I mean, like, in terms of, like, you know, a personal travel, like the other ones I've been through, like invited by SeatGeek or anything else. So I've been to the Superdome and the AT&T Stadium, which is just a shrine to Jerry Jones's ego. And I'm just sitting there like, the stadium could be this big. Holy crap.
Yeah, I remember the injured Jerry World episode. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Where my high jumping ability was on full display, or lack thereof, as you could tell.
Definitely. Yeah. Sorry. I like follow up with that question. Oh yeah, Hurricane scored. Do you have Rushmore, like top 5 stadiums you want to go to, like personally, or like? Because with me, I'm like Miami would be a good one. I still haven't been to Lambeau Field yet. Would love to go to Heinz Field and take a look. Never been to would love to go to SoFi and
SoFi would be an interesting one. I hear great things about that stadium. In terms of like top 5 in general, Camden Yards, if you ever go there for baseball, is a beautiful stadium. That is one of the top stadiums I go to. The Mecca, Oracle, Camden, PNC. PNC Park is absolutely gorgeous. We're spoiled here in Pittsburgh, not by the team, but by the stadium itself. The view, it never gets old, especially first or third base side. I would recommend that. It's just a fantastic site, and just it's breathtaking every time. I would say for football, I mean, Lambeau, just for the historical reference. Soldier should be that, but they butchered the renovation.
Right.
Spaceship.
Yeah, I would say, I'm trying to think where else, because there are a bunch of really new, nice stadiums, but you just got to figure out, like, where everything is there. Yeah. So it more or less varies on where life takes me, per se. Because
like I know Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is a good choice.
I hear that's fantastic. I hear that's
as
well.
Been to Raymond James. It's really
I was gonna say Raymond James.
And of course, I mean, I'm not sure what it's like over at like NRG, for example, or Lucas Oil, but that's gonna be. It would
I would say those would be interesting stadiums.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Would the Steelers be willing to see Pickett under a new coordinator?
Maybe. It depends on how he shows this time around. Like, if they think there's a future, I think they will. If not, I think they'll go to somebody else and then use Pickett as a backup.
Nice. By the way, after we asked that question, Carolina just scored another goal on Edmonton.
There you go. Oh, Edmonton does not have a defense, and they do not have goaltending. So
no.
You're probably in good hands there. Edmonton's a mess this year.
I mean, when I went to go to Raleigh and saw San Jose, with my guys.
Oh,
at-
dude,
at
you
Charlotte.
didn't even watch an NHL team. They're an AHL caliber
They
franchise right now.
They are.
The Pens
So
put
is
up 10
everything.
on them.
Good Lord. It's just, But the only thing I remember is that one guy committed so many penalties. But that's it. So my question, of course, still baseball related, but outside of the MLB, we're going to talk about, kind of going to, with Portland Pickles and Burlington Sock Puppets,
nice.
and the other week, a couple weeks ago, I asked about, when are you going to go to Burlington, keep me updated. But
Yeah.
this question is regarding, looking forward to it. I know you've been going to the gym. I know you've been trying to kick ass and get yourself better and work on your batting skills, catching skills, throws, all that.
Poorly, I'm probably not doing much, but I get it.
Well, what are you looking forward to the most on that point?
Ooh, probably just hopefully sucking less. That's my key. Because I'm thinking about getting private lessons, even though they'll say like, dude, you fucking suck, give up. And maybe joining a men's league. I know Five had actually recommended that because he had a great time with his men's league. I might do that. But I would say just being back out there again. Like as I said, I never played baseball growing up. So my experience is just from nothing to seeing 90 in a college prep league. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have any natural instincts in baseball. I'm fucked. So that's all you can really say there. So it's just trying to figure out like how to actually get the torque there. So that's mainly my goal. Nothing announced yet. We probably won't announce anything until April. So we'll see if I'm guessing the Sock Puppets will, maybe the Pickles will, maybe another team or two will. So time will tell. We'll see.
I'll definitely look forward to that since I'm like 2 hours away from Burlington. So it's not that hard of a drive up 85 just to go, see you in 5 perform.
Because I usually fly into Greensboro and then I drive out to Burlington, which is only about a half-hour drive. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not that bad at all. Just getting through I-40 is the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But, definitely worth it. I would have gone the past couple times, but something always came up and it just got
It's all
in the
good.
way.
It's all good, man.
I really would love to go.
It's a good time. I know, like this past year, like we went from like a handful of people to actually a decent showing for the crowd. I know they sold I think something like 850, 900, like over 1,000 tickets. I think I forget the total, but it was something like I thought it was like a lot less than that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. How much are tickets there, by the way? Just making sure.
I think it's like $5 to $10, and proceeds go to charity. So
nice. Definitely something worth it.
Justin.
All right, so I think we already knocked out the Three Rivers Stadium question because you mentioned about going to there a couple times when you were younger.
Yep.
But what would you do you like practicing like mental health things when I know you're busy with your videos and everything like that, but do you like do some special mental exercises or routines to help you stay on track mentally?
Main thing there is I consider exercise as my mental health. I find the benefits of just like a good exercise, weightlifting. I find that to really help clear my mind. So most of the time, even before I started like trying to lose weight or mainly it just. Sorry, I was looking up the Oilers Kane score and now I'm hearing a commercial. By the way, your Kane scored again. I will say that, but I will say that mainly like trying to at least get peace in the gym and just sitting on a treadmill and just like clearing your mind. I think it goes a long way. So that's how I usually see like the mental health. I see it as like the gym is sort of a safe space for me, not in terms of like, the common parody trope, but just in terms of, okay, I can clear my mind. I don't have to worry about anything video related. I can just focus on doing what I do, take about an hour and a half, shower up afterwards, and you're nice and refreshed. So that's how I do it.
I'm the same way. I do. I go on walks each morning, like hour and a half, 2 hours near where I live, and I sometimes do an exercise bike as well.
Oh, those are big too, man. I mean, there's a little bike trail nearby. I sometimes ride it. It's such a peaceful ride, man. Yeah.
Well, my bike is stationary, so.
But still, I mean, sometimes that can be peaceful. Just turn something on the TV, just unwind and relax.
Definitely.
Listen to music too.
Oh yeah, no, dude, the music's the most important part.
Definitely. With me, because ever since high school when I was in RTC, I used to do a lot of running around. Even during lectures, after we get done with that, we just go out and run. I practice my runs. I never skip a run. But it's definitely worth it, especially when you got like whether it's like surfing grunge rock or heavy metal or even
Yes.
works perfectly.
Mhm.
It varies more or less. I listen to a lot of video game music nowadays, but I do listen to a lot of metal, thrash, stuff like that.
Yeah. So for
Mhm.
me, I live close to Tampa, unfortunately. So it's sunny here most of the time. So
Mm.
I like go in my pool and do
Not
that
bad.
sometimes.
I feel like I know some people enjoy the beach. I just get restless on the beach. So like I don't know
Yeah,
how that works for people sometimes, but to each their own.
right. See, actually, hate to bring this up. Speaking of the Patriots, actually, so when the Packers played the Patriots last year, Tree, Hurricane Ian,
Ooh.
that's where I live.
You got hit pretty hard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the whole beach is still destroyed.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was there about the week before that, at the Buccaneer game, and we were in Disney World, and I was with my
Right.
ex-fiance at the time, and we were hanging around Epcot, and just got the warning. We just packed our shit, and I had to go overnight all the way back home.
Yeah.
We didn't get home till about 4 a.m. We got through the hurricane fine. We didn't even get touched. Just
Yeah.
rough day.
Mm-hmm. You probably saw a lot of people starting to evacuate. I'm taking.
Yeah,
No.
definitely. It was beautiful in Tampa when the Packers played. It was just gorgeous. Sun was beating down, not a cloud in the sky. Just that shit
Right.
happened.
Interesting.
Most of the people are back, actually.
I know that I meant for the hurricane, and then they probably came back. But
Right.
Yeah, they
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like my local Packer bar is still destroyed by it. I don't know if they're
jeez.
going to rebuild. It was bad.
I think the problem is like even with inflation these days. I mean, even if you had insurance, it's just a pain just to even get the materials to build.
Right.
So.
it is.
And most of
A
them
lot of businesses struggled with Sandy back 10 years ago as
right.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of Tom Grassi, what are your thoughts of Tom Grassi winning Fan of the Year? And do you think he will win NFL Fan of the Year?
If he doesn't win Fan of the Year, we riot in the streets. That's all I'm saying right now. That man has blossomed into something special. I've seen his growth since 2020 when I actually first met him. Like he actually came to me, slid in my DMs, wanted like an advertisement or promotion in the Jacksonville video that's still there. So because I think Perna actually recommended to him because I had ads for Perna as well. I'm like, okay, I'll do like with YouTube, I'll do like a discount. It's like, just a favor thing. Right. I liked his stuff, saw that, and then I asked him how it went, and then we just built from there. So I know to see him just grow from like what he has grinding for years, and now he's probably going to end up passing me in a matter of months in terms of subscribers. I'm proud of the dude, and I couldn't be happier for that man.
Right.
Like he's doing stuff I couldn't do. Like I couldn't do 30 for 30 getting stadiums. I'd be kicked out of the stadium first time they heard my name. So trust me, man. I mean, he exudes positivity and energy. People are attracted to that. And you know what? I hope the sky's his oyster. And I hope he remembers us little people when he gets to the top. That's all I'm going to say.
You got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Didn't the Steelers have you blocked ever since 2018?
Yep. They're still block me. So trust me. Trust me, man. The 30 for 30 on my end ain't happening. I could probably meet fans, but I ain't getting in the stadium.
Right. Speaking of 30 and 30, I know this is not in the script, but I know you met him. So what was that like with meeting with all the fans as well?
This was actually the second time I'd met him. The first time I had met him was in 2021 for a live stream because I was actually in Hartford that time. So it was good to see him again. First time I did is give him a big hug. I forgot he was on the table and his back was just shattered.
Oh, no.
And I'm surprised that actually people wanted me there because I never actually promoted it. I never did it on my end because it's about him. It's not about me.
Right.
So I more or less just sat around. I enjoyed stuff and, just really basked in his glory there too. We sat in his hotel room for a bit and had a chill night because we were talking about, having a drink fest, taking shots. And it turned out he was just so tired. I'm like, okay, let's go to Three Rivers Art Fest and just have a couple brews. So,
right. Ingrid, do you want to mention anything? I know you and I already talked about it.
So it was a good time. So, I mean, he loves Pittsburgh and trust me, I was waxing poetic about the city as well. So
definitely.
you should always come back, Tom, if you're watching this.
probably doubt he is. But
Also, by the way,
Yeah,
your Kane
yeah.
scored again. It's 4-0.
Please
Yeah.
come to our games.
yeah, I got the thing on the app up already. But yeah, definitely would love to come to Pittsburgh and hang around with you there. But when Tom came to Charlotte, he went over to the Hot Flight Brewing Company just about a quarter mile outside of the Bank of America Stadium. They didn't let him in, sadly, to the stadium. But
Yeah.
getting the chance to meet him, I mean, one of my best friends with me. He's a Cardinals fan, and we decided to go together. And I wanted to bring him and Johnny something special, so I got him this can of a drink called Cheerwine. I don't know if you ever heard Cheerwine before.
I have, yes. I think they sell it at some convenience stores up here.
Oh,
I hear it's
they
pretty
do?
good.
Oh, good. So I don't think they had it in New York. He looked like he never tried it before because he thought it was like some sort of alcoholic beverage looking at it.
Yeah, it does look like it. It's a glass like.
Well,
Right.
I got him
Container.
cans from a 12-pack. So,
Hmm.
yeah, the cans are just plain. But got him to try it. Got him to sign my old Rasul Douglas jersey that was beat up.
Nice.
Got him to sign my ex's Miami Dolphins football that she gave me. And same with Johnny Barks. They just enjoyed
Johnny
it.
Barks is a good dude. Nick Kovac was another guy who came down as well to actually help film because Barks was busy editing a few things.
Right.
Yeah, Barks and I
So-
actually had a good little bit of conversation too when he came by me, and
Definitely.
it just felt great talking to him. And later that night, towards the tail end, I was able to get the chance to walk to his hotel with him. Because I didn't live that far from the stadium either at the time, so I just what I figured maybe I can ask, and he was so cool about it. I got the chance to talk to him, and alongside a Bills fan who was really cool about it, although he did kind of spend more time with Bill. But I digress. It was still an experience, and it was probably one of the best days of my life, just getting the chance to meet him and do this.
I think that's how a lot of people were, especially meeting Grassi.
Right.
Like they just saw it as just the celebration. But I know the first gathering was pretty small, and then it just blew up into something spectacular. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to do it again anytime soon, but
he said on Hey We Like Your Pod when he reaches 1 million, he would do it again. So.
He might even come
Well-
back to Charlotte because he
well, be careful. I mean, it might happen soon. Just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
He told a lot of people did tell him that Carolina did not have any culture, and he found out that they were wrong. But
Well, Carolina has a culture. There's just a lot of transplants there, so it kind of bogs down the culture.
Definitely.
So.
definitely, it's just find out the real ones. But with you, if I ever get the chance to meet you, I would treat it kind of just like I would treat Tom. Just getting
Honestly, dude, I just expect to be just treated as a dude. I don't expect anything special. That's all I see.
Well, dude, you are part of an inspiration, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a thing. You're kind of part of being my hero in a way. So,
Yep.
But dude, I appreciate that. As I said, all I can do is I hope I keep it up for you guys. That's
I mean,
mainly
yeah.
how I see it.
You do even on my bad days, I just plop on an old video of yours, and I just smile and laugh, just enjoy the time.
Mhm.
But
Justin, did you want to talk about 30 and 30?
Yes. Me and Mary met him when he was in Tampa Bay, right around the Juneteenth weekend.
Yep.
Middle of June. He was allowed to go into the stadium briefly to get on the pirate ship, even though there was some Juneteenth festival going on near the stadium that day.
Oh, he wanted to get on the pirate ship. I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then after that we went to we went to the mall for a little bit in the morning, and then later on we went to the part that he was gonna meet us at. There was a whole bunch of people, not just Packers fans, Bucks fans, but there was a couple of Ravens fans, a couple of Jaguars fans, a lot of representation in terms of teams. And
For sure.
it was Johnny's birthday that day,
Yeah.
and we all say happy birthday to him. And me and Mary got pictures with him and Johnny, and it was just a wonderful time. It was just a great guy, and overall.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the class acts of YouTube. He's not manipulative or malicious. He's just what he is on his sleeve. And as I said, I try to be the same way, but I mean, that's all you can be, to be completely honest.
I'll definitely.
At the end of the day, we're nothing special. We're just dudes that randomly just stumbled into YouTube,
Right.
and we just want to pay it back in some way. So
Right.
we all know what the struggle's like. So
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll close it off with 30 and 30 because, as Justin said, him and I actually met Tom and Johnny. So as you know, Tree, we are Packers fans, and one of my schools.
I gotta wave the towel to mask it off because we do beat you.
Fine. This might make you better though. Oh no.
We're going Super Bowl.
One of my school's social workers, I guess, is a diehard Cowboys fan.
Oh.
So I had Tom film him a video saying "Go Pack Go" at the end of it, and
Nice.
saying like "Thanks for Lambeau South,"
Lord.
and I played it for him. He doesn't talk to me now. And it's actually special because all of the people that was there, I think there was a Steelers fan too, actually.
Yeah, there were a bunch of different fans there as well. I think somebody was wearing like a home and away Tua Tagovailoa jersey
Yep.
at the meetup.
So actually, I don't know if you saw this tree, but I actually had everyone sign a poster that was at Tom's 30 and 30 at Tampa.
Nice.
And Tom actually has that poster. And yeah, it's just, I gave him luggage tags as a joke and the letter that I sent you, Tree. So he already has that. So
Nice.
I would just appreciate it if you would read it in the next clip
Absolutely.
or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not
Mary-
going to cry. What?
Mary, listen, I got a quick question for you. Did you see any division rivals from the NFC North in your 30 in Tampa?
I was right there when he wrote it. Yes.
Yeah, like any like Bear fans, Lion, Viking.
Oh, yeah. Vikings,
was a Bears
Bears,
fan.
Lions, yeah, everyone.
The only one from there was just one Lion fan. The rest were
Really?
mostly Green Bay or AFC North or AFC East, whatever.
I think everyone represented every team there pretty much.
We didn't have anybody from the South, AFC South. So
Besides, I don't think there was a Cowboys fan, now that I think about it.
there was a couple of Cowboys fans, but
I don't think I was.
I want to say there was a Raven fan or two, but for the most part, it was mostly Steelers fans from what I saw.
Right, for years, yeah.
Browns or
Makes
Bengals
sense.
fans out there.
Maybe, but I'm trying to think. Like, there may have been a Browns fan. It's just like I saw a bunch of black and gold.
Right.
And Brett Coleman randomly showed up because he was in town with a friend to see Paramore that weekend, and he just popped up, and I'm like, wait, that was Brett? It was just a dude with a hoodie and sunglasses. It just came up.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So yeah, of course, I would definitely. There was like maybe I don't think there was like one. There might be one Steeler fan that was there in Charlotte, but there was also a Raven fan, but that was it.
Yeah.
Didn't see much otherwise. But
Your question.
yeah. So of course I told you about how your videos kind of entertain me even on the bad days and all that mess. But I will definitely say the best part, the one of my favorite parts to look at is definitely regarding your legacy of failures in your locale sports. I will definitely ask. I know you've been planning on trying to do like maybe a legacy of failure or locale of Milwaukee Brewers, for example.
Yes,
I know-
that's been a huge request, especially since Craig Counsell's gone and they may purge the team. It may be time.
Definitely. I'm sure all Wisconsin's getting angry right now. But
Vancouver Canucks are another one I want to do recently too. The Jets will be another one as well. It's just finding the time to piece it all together.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
the Padres, they want to do, but at the same time, like their window's still open. I don't want to do it just yet.
right. But out of all of them that you did kind of list off, but if you have any more, you can. But what do you have in mind to be the best one to do in the near future?
Ooh, best one in the near future, I'd say more or less depends on what I'm feeling. Like I want to do Canucks, I want to do Brewers, Clippers are ones I've been featured as well. I'm waiting for the Clippers, like the Kawhi and that era and PG era to end before I do anything there as well. But I would say, I keep losing them because the teams randomly win championships. I only have the Mariners, the Falcons, and the Vikings left. If Dan Snyder magically redeems himself, I'm going to become a hermit in the mountains of Appalachia. Like it is just going to be, I'll give up. But I will say, hopefully the Leafs one doesn't end anytime soon. So
I mean, you also still got the Falcons too. But are you planning on doing one for like any NFL teams, like maybe the Panthers or anything?
Bengals would be one, but I'm waiting for a couple moments to happen there too.
Okay, gotcha.
Justin.
So my last question is, what would be a bowl predictions for the rest of the season? Like a surprise team like Texans over the Jaguars, etc. What would be a bold prediction for the season?
Ooh, bold prediction. I'd say the Texans making the playoffs. I would say potentially the Browns over the Ravens in terms of division.
Ooh.
That would be a hot take. And I think it's possible with how the Browns defense has been playing. Although I think the Ravens do take it. I would say, what else would be a hot take? Sizzling hot take. The NFC South is just a mess. If Atlanta still stumbles into it, I'll laugh hysterically with how bad they've been. But otherwise, things have been kind of going as I'd expected them to be. So I think everything's going to remain pretty steadfast, and all you can really do is play the games right now.
Yeah, second season in a row where the NFC South is a terrible division, and they'll probably be eliminated by the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that. So that's all the questions that we had for you, Tree. We'll go through our final thoughts and see if you have any questions for us.
Absolutely.
Justin, do you want to give your final thought?
Obviously, it was a pleasure to ask you a few questions. I was just glad to talk with you and just continue the good work.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you, Justin.
Thank you.
Ingrid, you?
I said a lot of my thoughts during this whole thing, but man,
Right.
I will say this again, Trey. Even though you're just a guy, you are definitely an inspiration. You're definitely one of the best YouTubers I've ever seen. Hopefully, get the chance to meet in the near future. Maybe make friendship with, and probably do some stuff with you. Definitely worth a chance as someone who's been just lucky to just do this kind of thing and get the opportunity to do this. It really does warm my heart again that, like, I never thought I'd get the chance to be in the same year, get to meet you, on screen, but also in Tom in person.
Right.
I just hope for more to come. I'm really
Definitely.
grateful for your time. I'm really grateful for the communication that we have,
Honestly, guys, as I said, thank you guys for inviting me. I mean, you took the consideration to bring me on here, and I'm absolutely honored by it. So
Okay.
I appreciate you all.
I'm gonna try not to cry.
Oh, come on. It's fine.
No, so when
It's
you
fine.
no. When
Okay,
you
man,
DM
just
me-
go ahead.
When you DM me, I got like teary-eyed, where I literally had to text people. I was like, "Hey, DM me," like fangirling over you. So I appreciate that. I told you what I mean. I'm like glad that we met virtually, and I know these guys can attest to it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you again, Mary.
You were, like I said, you were one of the first guests. I hope you can come back.
Oh, dude, I absolutely would be honored to come back.
It'll be worth it. And I will
Yeah.
also definitely say, like, I'll definitely take a Primanti sandwich with you if I ever go.
As the thing with Primanti's, don't get the Pittsburgher. There are certain sandwiches that do okay there. Black Angus is good. Raging Cajun's good. That's like a spicy chicken. And Colossal Fish. Those are the three. You do that, you're okay. Just don't expect elite cuisine. If it's a sandwich, it's a decent sandwich, but I think it's not like a staple of Pittsburgh. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, Black Angus, you mentioned it before. I think you mentioned it in the stream or something like that. Black Angus kind of sounded like a good idea to me. So
Yeah, it's a higher end, like it's a steak sandwich, so it's pretty good.
Definitely.
Tree, do you have any questions for any of us?
I'm trying to think. I know. Quick question. Like, where do you want to take the podcast? I'm just curious because I know you said this is like your first like real rendition. Where do you think you're gonna head with this? Just curious.
You can go angry, then I'll go.
Really, just I don't want to make a meme about it, like trying to bring up anything. I don't know. I really get this far. But,
I mean, I think the same way. So trust me, I get it.
Just be more entertaining. I mean, of course, I know I'm a cynical person, kind of take that from you, but just try to get the chance to get kind of like, I kind of want to take it almost like a Siskel and Ebert approach. You ever seen Siskel and Ebert?
A little bit. I'm not super familiar with their dynamic. I was a little too young, but
yeah,
I
like the thumbs up, thumbs down. Ebert was more lenient than Siskel, but definitely want to take that kind of dynamic with the show, but that's in my opinion. I don't know how Mary wants to do it. It's mainly her thing. I'm just along for the ride.
Right.
Mhm.
So life just got too busy for me, so that's why I need a permanent co-host. So that's why Angry is going to be with me mostly every single episode. And I actually had a podcast called Life of Mary Podcast, like Justin sent you.
Nice.
That's where I started, actually. And you, Tom Grossi, Hey, We Like Your Pod, actually gave me an inspiration to start podcasting.
Nice.
So it's just been a phenomenal journey. And I'm like wanting to take it more places, like more broadcast stations. And this might be another thing, Tree, that you can help with is getting us subscribers, because I know Angry and I already talked about this. We need 50 subscribers to go live, YouTube said.
Yeah,
That's the thing, though. You can't push subscribers, though. It has to come
Right.
naturally.
that's
So
hard work.
I completely get it, though. So
But-
I know when I started, like you were able to just apply and you'd be fine. But now they've added like so many variables and loopholes.
Right.
Like I know they've done like I think it's like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours now to become like monetized. And I didn't realize about the 50 to go live. It's probably just so they don't have a bunch of robots going live and just burning
Probably.
bandwidth.
But if you can help push out this podcast, that'd be phenomenal.
Absolutely. As I said, like just tell me what to release. I'll like and retweet it for you. So
Thank
at
you
least
so
help
much.
you get a few more eyeballs there.
I know we were talking about the analytics of that tweet that I sent you, and it's gotten popular.
I know what you mean, man. I mean, sometimes the craziest stuff gets popular. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't expecting to get like that tweet like 30,000 views or whatever it is now.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that, man. I'm surprised it hit 30,000, to be honest.
It's your fans though.
Checking every hour just how much is growing.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I will definitely say if we get enough subscribers, I would love to start going live and stream some of the games. You know, maybe stream with other people.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yep.
That would definitely be
Maybe
nice.
get a Grossi raid.
Maybe
Oh
get
my
a cross
gosh,
raid. Maybe
imagine.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe even get a tree raid. I would love
Oh,
it.
Maybe.
yes.
Maybe.
I
maybe.
love a good tree raid.
All at the
Okay.
same time. I might as well. I could try.
Try that. You know, like I
That
said
might-
earlier, I still a dream to get on the dumpster fire. That's worth a shot.
Mhm.
You know, definitely just. I'm sorry, my head's a little cloudy, but
It's all good, man.
I'm trying to
It's all
say.
It's the day before Thanksgiving, and your head's
No,
okay to be
it's not that.
cloudy.
It's because I'm talking to you.
Right.
But
It's the day before Thanksgiving. Trust me.
No. I'm more excited about talking to you than Thanksgiving. Believe
Right.
me. But just the chance to grow a bit more and stand out along with other podcasters, it just feels really great.
Yeah.
More people out.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of what else to say. Yeah, if we do game streams, I would love like your opinion about how to do it. I know like we can't like commentate the game.
Well, you can't
But-
you can't show the actual footage
Right.
of the game.
Right.
And that's the problem. I wish I could actually show the footage of the game. It would make it a lot easier to do just
Right.
because I'm not actually just me on a screen, like trying to do a radio play-by-play.
Right. So it's not like Tom's, like how he does it somehow.
Mhm.
And I do lives on my Instagram because I don't have enough. I just sit there and look like a nutball trying to watch the games and try and go for a play-by-play kind of.
It takes time to develop, so trust me, it doesn't come overnight.
Right.
I still have trouble with it as well, so I understand.
Like I know Tom, it took 8 years to get to where he
It's
is.
crazy. Right.
And he was doing it once for 5 to 10 people, so trust
True.
me, you gotta start somewhere, dude.
Definitely.
Is there anything else, Tree?
No, that's it. I mean,
Final
you
thoughts?
got something else?
Final
Well,
thoughts? No?
I mean, honestly, just as I said, thank you guys for having me on, and I appreciate you, each and every one of you. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have great plans with family, maybe some football, turkey trot, something like those lines. But otherwise, guys, hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, just let me know.
Do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right,
I'm recording. I have to